Okay, this here is the circular saw. Once again, just like all the tools that I showed you previously, but this here is just like a table saw or a miter saw, but in your hand. So this here is what framers use in order to, you know, to cut roofs or to cut boards or whatever, plywood on the roofs or whatever. But this here is, I'll just go over it a little bit. So this here's the battery, and you want to check to make sure half charge again, so we're good to go. Now this here also has a little groove right on the top. So if you can see, if you lift this up, the blade will be right in line with this line right here. So if you were cutting a board and you wanted to make sure you cut it right on that line, you stick the line right on this edge and it will cut straight 90 degrees. Okay? Now it also has a thing where you can loosen this off, and also the base will tip on an angle as well, on a bevel. Right? We don't need that right now. You basically do use that for roofing as well. So you put it back to where it's supposed to be, back to 0. As you can see, the graduation, 0 degrees, which is 90. You tighten the lever. Also, if your blade is dull, it also has a nut on the face of the blade. Now there's also a little locking lever, which is right here. So even before you start working on this, pull the battery out, which makes common sense, so it doesn't automatically turn on you. So you put it, and then you turn the blade till there's a little button on the inside that locks. There you go. So it can't turn. And then you'd put the Allen key inside, and you would turn counterclockwise, and it would loosen this nut off, and you could take the blade out and put a new blade on. But we're not going to get into that. And right here, you turn it clockwise to tighten it. You put the Allen key back inside here so it doesn't get lost. And then it also depends on the thickness of the board that you're going to cut. So right now we're only cutting the same board 3/4 of an inch. So right now, for safety reasons, I just want you to see. So if I cut a board, and you can see the thickness of the board right here. See how much blade I have left out? So if I was ripping a board, you don't want to cut your hand. So right now I can adjust this base plate so the blade only sticks like 1/8 of an inch out past the board, and that's what we're going to do. So this lever right here on the side, you loosen that off. And you can adjust it. And lay the board nice and flat. Right there. You lock it on the side. Now in order to cut the board, we have some quick clamps. Skill saw, it has a safety button on the top as well. You have to push this down in order for the blade to engage. Right now the blade won't engage. You push it down, the blade spins. Now if we wanted to cut a straight line, and there you are. When you're done, loosen it up, push it all the way up, take the battery out, charge the battery, and put it away back in the case that it needs to be, and clean it off. And that's the safety for the circular saw.